A Luo educated man who lives in Nairobi city and is very rich dies. He comes to the village and his casket is put in banana fibers. Why? Because this rich man who lives in the city does not have a house, and therefore we have to build for him a house that of banana fibers and then cover his casket with banana fibers. I hope you are getting me clearly. In the city, he's doing very well. He has investments. He's living life on the first lane. In fact, he's paying rent, huge astronomical amounts of rent, and he's doing very well according to the eyes of the people in the city. But when he comes to the village, no house. And people who live in the city, they are now mocking him that you have no house at home. You have no house at home. That man died without a house. This is the problem I have with people who live in the city. People who live in the city will advise you that don't build a house in the village. A house, in fact, they have come up with the word dead capital to mean that a house is a very useless investment. These people who live in town, they look at life in through financial spreadsheet. And so they tell you that everything you do has to make financial sense. And so they advise you that don't build a house in the village. And so I believe that this man, when he was in the city, when he was interacting with friends used to tell him that don't build a house in the village. It's a bad investment. It will be dead capital. You know, you don't travel to the village. Like I hear some people tell me that I travel to the village only twice a year. I only go there maybe twice, thrice a year. Why should I have a house there? And so this man's whole life, he's thinking about how he can acquire land within the city, how he can build a home for his family within the city. And so he's still planning himself. And building a house in the city is expensive. First of all, acquiring land within the city is very expensive. Putting up a house within the city with those approvals is very expensive. And just maintaining a house within the city, the sewer system and the water and everything, electricity, is very expensive. And so this man reaches maybe 40, 50 years, he's still struggling to put up a house within the city because they told him that a house in the village is a bad investment. But as he still tries to prepare himself, you know, you don't know when you will die. Death finds him. And therefore, he has to come back to his ancestral land for burial. That is according to our culture. A lot of people will not want to be buried within the city in those cemeteries. They are coming home. Now, when he comes home, the same people who told you that a house is dead capital, they are making fun of you that you don't have a house. The same people who told you that building in the village is a bad investment and they are always looking at everything through a financial spreadsheet, they are now telling you that you don't have a house and they are mocking you online. In fact, one of the things I hate is you are making fun of a person and you are taking his photos and uploading them online. Do you know people who upload online? They are the same people who are telling you that having a house in the village is a bad investment. They will advise you that don't build a house. But when you die, they will come to your home and take a photo and upload it that you did not have a house. You see the problem I have with town dwellers? This is what I have been saying. People who live in town, please stop giving village advice. Village advice is not for you. If you have always lived in the city or you intend to live in the city all your life and you want to die and be buried within the city, please give city advice because that is your orientation. You have what we call urban bias. And so your urban bias will make you give proper advice for people who want to live within the city, not in the village. If you want to give advice of the village, look for a villager like me. A villager like me. A villager will give you better advice concerning the village, and you who lives in the city can give better advice for the city. Okay? So if you live in the city, stop advising your fellow city dwellers about the village. We live in the village and we know the village much better than you do. And we who live in the village, we don't try to give you advice that go and live in Eastlands, go and live in Karen, go and live in Kitusuru or go to Kasarani. No, because we know we don't understand how the city looks like. And so concerning the village, although you have lived there, but most of your orientation when you are working and earning money and spending in the city, your orientation is not in the village. So you don't understand the village. Leave the village for villagers. Let villagers give advice concerning the village. In the village, we build houses to live in, not to make profit. We build houses for peace of mind, okay? Not for rent, to rent them out to get more money and continue looking for more money. We want to live in peace. We are not really concerned about chasing money all the time, although money is very important if you live in the village. But the reality of the village is that you are not very concerned about money all the time. In the village, the priority is peace of mind. When you are seated down, like the way I'm seated like this, nothing is disturbing me. I'm in a quiet environment. I am in nature. And I'm producing a YouTube video with natural light that God gave us. Life is so simple, and that is what we prioritize. In the village, we prioritize slow living, peace of mind, and just togetherness, social life. That is what we prioritize. In the city, you prioritize looking for money. And so don't give the advice of looking for money in the city for the villagers, because it does not apply here. And when you have your friends in the city who want to relocate to the village, stop advising them about the village. There's this assumption that people who live in the village don't have a brain. They don't understand a lot of things. They are not exposed. They are not learned. There has been that assumption. And I've been trying to counter that narrative, but I think I interact a lot with town people, and as I told you about urban bias, they have this urban bias, and they believe that you have to live in the city for you to be more educated, more exposed, more open-minded, you see. And that is why they call our investments in the village dead capital. Have you ever seen a person who lives in town calling a townhouse dead capital? No, because they believe that if you have a house in town, it's not a dead capital, but at home, it is dead capital. Now, if you have a house in town and it is not giving you peace of mind, you cannot raise a family there. You cannot get other non-monetary advantages. Is it not dead capital? They don't think that there can be dead capital in the city. They only think that there is dead capital at home. If you build a house in town and you are building on riparian land and the government comes and then demolishes it, you understand the corrupt nature of our country. You go to the Ministry of Lands, they give you a false title deed, you come and build your house, and then they demolish it. Now it is gone. Now they don't call that dead capital, okay? What you build that is stable at home, that you can bring a family up in, that you can stay in and get your peace of mind, that is dead capital. Friends, let us just settle this debate all together. If you live in town, and this is in good faith, if you live in town and you are exposed to town matters and you know a lot about town, kindly give town advice. At home, we understand the advantages of being at home. Had this man interacted with a lot of villagers like me, we would have told him that build your house in the village. It is not expensive. Get iron sheets, and in the village nobody will laugh at you that you don't have a permanent house, you don't have what. You just build a semi-permanent simple house and then put it there, and then when you come, you'll be sleeping there. Even if you die, your children will get it. And even if your children don't want the village, your great-grandchildren will still want that house, because along your lineage, you will have children who desire the village. If they don't desire the village, you will have grandkids who desire the village, or you will have great-grandchildren who will just value village slow living. A person like me, I have never fancied staying in town. Never. You can never find me with, now I have rented a house now in Kasarani, or I have rented a house in anywhere within Nairobi that I want to stay there for 3, 4, 5 years continuously. I can't. Not because I don't want to. If circumstances force, I will do it, but in Kiswahili we say shingo upande. I will do it unwillingly. Okay? That is why every day I have to be looking at my computer. How do I earn money online? Because I want to earn money at home. I want to earn money in my house at home. Because I know at home, that is where I find peace. And by the way, do you know, a lot of people don't know that the kind of life we live in the village, only people in leafy suburbs live that kind of life. Do you know that? As a person who has been in Eastlands, I have gone to Westlands, I have been to those leafy suburbs in Nairobi, and I have lived in the village. The only place a middle class or low class person can get the best quality of life is the village. The people who stay this kind of life that we stay within the city are billionaires and multimillionaires. Because look here, at home, I have water at home, continuous supply, clean water at home. Right? I have electricity at home and power backup at home. I have enough security at home. I have everything I want at home. Okay? Now, these things, if you go to a place like, I like talking about Kasarani and Githurai and Kahawa Wendani because I have lived there. If you go to places like those ones, you can never find this kind of life. Why? Because you have to live in an apartment. Water is a problem. Sometimes you find that you have a problem. The agent is not coming to repair the sewer. And then the house you are living in is not even gated, okay? It is just a tall apartment. You have to follow down here. Thieves can come there anytime. You see? But at home, we have fenced our compound. We have enough water. We have electricity. We have power backup. The only thing you have to worry about is how do I make money at home? Because when you are in town, you're looking for money. When you are at home, you still have to look for that money. Now, when you make money at home, and I live like a person who is in Runda, I live like a person who is in Karen, I live like a person who is in Kitisuru, isn't that the best life? Isn't that the best life? You see, now I'm thinking like a villager, okay? Isn't that best living? That is what now I think about. I cannot go to Eastlands to live in a story building when I can live a very quiet life at home, where I can walk even with money like this and a laptop holding it like this, and nobody will ask me anything. Where I can put on clothes and repeat, and nobody will ask me anything. Than going to live in a place where I have to struggle to get a lot of things, okay? Like I put on this jacket a lot. At home, nobody's asking me about anything. I record my YouTube videos repeatedly with this jacket. Nobody's asking me anything because it is normal. Now, imagine if I was living in the city. People would be expecting me to produce YouTube videos in a podcast with the lighting that next Netflix standard lighting. They want me to buy cameras that are, they want me to produce a show that is classic. But because I live in the village, life is so simple. And am I getting the views like those of people who are in the city? Yes, we are getting the same views. We are on the same platform, YouTube. We are producing the same videos that we produce. The problem is that you are in a place where they want you to have some standards. Even if you have a studio in a rented house, they will tell you, you have a studio in a rented house, get another place. But for me, where is my studio? My studio is in our land. I'm seated here. For you, they will ask you, you need chairs, good chairs. Go buy a chair. It's just 10,000 shillings. But for me, a chair is worth 500 shillings. In the village, nobody cares, bro. You live a simple, slow-paced lifestyle. And so we understand the importance of village living a lot. And we can advise people on the importance of village living. We now, who live here, and we have experienced this life. Now, I cannot advise you who lives in the city because I don't understand how city life is. I have village bias now. When you see me saying that it's very difficult to live in a place where it's fast-paced, it's not gated, there are a lot of people moving around, there's no security, motorcycles are just passing around and somebody can snatch your phone, there are a lot of standards, somebody raising their standards but they are middle class. You see, that kind of life, I look at it and then I say, I don't want that kind of life. That is why I cannot advise anybody to live in the city. I can only advise people to live in the village. So, town dwellers, let's agree here one thing. You live in the city, advise people on how to live in the city. For me, I can't live there and I've given my reasons. But there is a reason why you love the city. Advise people on the importance of living in the city. If it is about exposure, well, tell them you will be exposed more. If it's about investments, tell them that you will get better investments within the city. If it's about taking matatus, maybe you're buying a car, or maybe when you live in the city you can have better health, okay, advise them about living in the city. But when it comes to the village, leave it to us to tell people that when you come to the village, kindly have a house. It could be even a simple house. That money that you are paying rent, even for 3 months, buy iron sheets and build a simple house where you can come home and rest there. You don't need to build a mansion, okay? Because people who live in the city will tell you not to build a house, it is dead capital. But again, when you die, they will come to that village and take photos and embarrass you online. And that is not a good thing for you who is living in the city and your home is in the village. We who live in the village cannot do that to you. Do you think that me who lives in the village, I can go and take a photo of a person who has a grass-thatched house? No, I cannot. Why? Because I see grass-thatched houses everywhere. Do you think that me who lives in the village, I can go and then take a photo making fun of a person who has a mad house? I cannot do that. Because I have seen a lot of people, even my relatives, even me when I was still growing up, we grew up in a mad house. And so I cannot even make fun of that person because a lot of people here have such kind of houses. So when you come to the village, there are no standards, okay? We don't have standards. And so we will not make fun of you. We in the village don't mock slow progress. We in the village don't mock you who is trying to grow, you who is still down. Even if you remain down, you are still okay. People in the villages are at their lowest and nobody's making fun of them. Nobody's making fun of them. So when you want to come to the village, come get advice from villagers. And if you are educated, come to people like us. We are educated and in the village. We stay here, right? We will tell you, if you are educated, walk with so and so, walk with so and so. There is jealousy. Do not go here, do not go there. People, when they see you and they see you are educated, they can start wondering, why is he educated and he's here? So don't interact with so and so, don't interact with so and so. We give you strategies on how to live a peaceful life as an educated person within the village. There are so many educated people within the village. We have teachers here, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have a lot of people. They should not lie to you that village is left for people who don't have anything. Then who is teaching your kids in the village? They are teachers. Who is treating people, doing surgeries in the village? They are doctors. Who is representing people in cases like when a person does incest here? We have a lawyer. We have lawyers within these villages. We have educated people within these villages, and they can guide you on how to live in the villages. Stop listening to town dwellers. Town dwellers have urban bias. They can only teach you on how to live in the town. But we who live in the village can give you appropriate advice on how to stay in the village. So, kila mtu achunge line yake. You people who live in town, stay in town. Don't advise us in the village. And we who live in the village, we don't want to concern ourselves with things of the town. Thank you for listening to me. This is Gedia Kali, and we shall meet again in another video. Peace.